Hi, everybody. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why we are here this evening. We are here for those kids. And I just want to say good evening. My name is John Donvan. It's a pleasure to be hosting this year's Dinner of Champions, and to everybody joining us here at the Krieger Auditorium tonight. I want to say this. Last time I was in front of a live audience was 20 months ago. And here we all are finally in person again, and it's great to be here with all of you, really. We're being very, very safe about it, and I think that's wise, but it's wonderful that we're able to have such protocols in place that let us all get together. But there are a lot of people also at home watching via live stream, and to those of you watching via live stream, we're thrilled you're joining us. I don't want you to feel you're missing out. You do get to wear your slippers through all of this. But I want to thank you at home and everyone here in Krieger for your participation in this program tonight and for supporting Camp JCC, a place where, as they say, all kids can be kids. No matter where you are tonight, it's all about celebrating our honorees as well as supporting the vital work of Camp JCC. I'm going to get right to the point. Phones are going to have an important role to play tonight in a couple of ways. The first thing we would like you to do is help us light up social media about what's going on right now. We would like you to be cheering loudly for our honorees, and doing that digitally by tweeting or posting to Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag CampChamps. Internal rhyme, it's very nice, CampChamps, hashtag CampChamps. Also, on the topic of phones, we want you to take a look at our outstanding raffle packages that are available this evening. There's a lot of stuff there: sporting tickets, memorabilia, artwork, catered dinners, a lot of restaurant gift certificates. There's artwork, there is a lot more. And you can purchase tickets by scanning the QR code on your program or on the screen. The raffle winners will be drawn Monday on Facebook Live at 2 p.m., another slipper event. So for 29 years, the Dinner of Champions has celebrated all stars in our community, sports stars, both on the field and off, high school athletes, and also humanitarians with strong ties to our community. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. This evening holds even more meaning given that Laurie Strongen, who will be honored at the end, near the end of the program, for me is a very good personal family friend. And we are all delighted to be honoring her tonight and the other award recipients. But I'm particularly honored to be involved in bestowing this honor upon Laurie. She and her husband Alan and I became friends 20 years ago when I was working for ABC's Nightline, and I did a story about her son Henry. Henry is not with us any longer. Those of you who know the story know that story, and those of you who don't will hear that story tonight. But the bottom line is that Laurie is remarkable for having turned pain into joy with the work that she does. I'll say, looking a little bit ahead, she sort of melts the hospital walls, and she gives kids who are inside hospitals really a sense that they are part of the broader community. And community is kind of the main theme of Laurie's work. I think also of Camp JCC. It also happens to be work that I do. I've written a book about autism, and I'm making a film about autism called In a Different Key. And the main theme of my work in that area is to argue that people who are different in any way are really susceptible to the way that everybody else reacts to them, and that acceptance or lack of acceptance can make or break the sense of somebody feeling that they can actually are belonging, are part of the community. And the community is actually everywhere and is not that hard to achieve for people who can just sort of get over the differences and recognize the common humanity in all of us. And it starts with kids, and that's what's so fantastic about Camp JCC and about the work that we're going to be doing here tonight and honoring here tonight. So that's enough from me. I would like to move the program forward by introducing Rami Kandel, who is the Bender JCC Board Development Chair. Rami, the lectern is yours.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this year's Dinner of Champions. We are so glad that you are joining us and look forward to celebrating our honorees in Camp JCC. If you are joining us at the Bender JCC for the first time, welcome. The Bender JCC is an all-inclusive community. From the people we serve to the programs we offer, all rooted in Jewish values. What you may not know is that we are a state-of-the-art fitness center, a highly coveted preschool, an engaging summer camp for kids of all abilities, a beautiful art gallery, and so much more. We are the JCC Maccabi Games and a place to hear an engaging speaker. We are a community of communities, and we are open to everyone. I'd like to take a moment now to recognize all of tonight's sponsors for their exceptional commitment to making inclusion possible at Camp JCC. I would like to especially acknowledge our major sponsors. Our shooting star sponsors, the Bender Foundation, Inc., the Annette and Theodore N. Lerner Family Foundation, and the Lerner Cohen Tannenbaum families, Lynn Shapiro Snyder and Jeffrey M. Snyder Family Foundation, and the superstar sponsors, Shining Stars, All-Star, and Star sponsors that are being shown on your screens. Thank you all for your support. The names you are seeing are part of a community that pulls together and gets the work done. Without their generosity, Camp JCC would not be possible. And if you missed some of the names on your screen, please go to the tribute book. They are all listed there. Please support their services as they have supported us. Please, let's give them an in-person and virtual round of applause for their support. And please use #CampChamps. Get rid of the stupid mask. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to the awesome Dinner of Champion Committee and our awesome chairs, Roz and Rob Black, Erica Strudler and Isaac Snyder. You all rock the house tonight. They have taken on a big challenge, worked tirelessly, attended a ton of Zoom meetings, who hasn't, and continue to think outside the box in order to bring this event to life. The entire list of our committee can be found in your tribute book. Now, please join me in welcoming Dinner of Champions co-chair, Erica Strudler and Isaac Snyder.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this very special evening dedicated to the champions in our community. My name is Erica Strudler, and along with my husband, Isaac Snyder, we are thrilled to be co-chairing the 2021 Bender JCC Dinner of Champions. And it is so great to be with all of you here in person. If you've ever had the privilege of visiting Camp JCC, you know the indescribable feeling of seeing the enthusiasm, smiles, and most importantly, what it means to truly be inclusive. Tonight we have an all-star lineup of deserving honorees, and we are excited to celebrate with them and their families. It is especially meaningful to me to be so involved in this event, given that back in 2004, I was a Perlo High School athlete recipient. Thank you.
At first glance, Camp JCC may look like any other camp, a summer filled with songs, field trips, friends, and laughter. But it's not just another camp. We have been nationally recognized and have become an example of other camps around the country who are looking to build or improve on how they integrate children with disabilities into camp. At Camp JCC, inclusion is not a separate program. It's a way of operating and a mindset that each and every staff member adopts. Each activity is carefully evaluated to meet our standards of inclusion. For the staff, this is not just another job. There are countless stories over the years of counselors who have been profoundly impacted by the experience. We are actively changing attitudes and educating the next generation about seeing people for who they are, not for their disability. Especially this past summer, we saw our community shine and display resilience and flexibility like never before.
Through the support of loyal and committed donors like you and the hard work of our dedicated staff, Camp JCC operated in person this summer and created a transformational experience for 265 campers and 62 campers in our inclusion program. Tonight, we've told you how special and important Camp JCC is for so many children. But in the video that you're about to see, you'll watch the magic unfold. You'll see the smiles, you'll hear the laughter, you will experience exactly what your donation means to so many deserving kids in the community. It's the connections, it's the friendships, it's the experiences that become life-changing for these children. Now, we'll let our camp families tell you why Camp JCC really is a place for everyone.
Are you ready?
Camp is something that every kid should get to experience. It doesn't matter who they are, where they come from, how they interact. It's a place to come to make friends, to learn valuable life lessons in a fun and safe environment that you can just be a kid.
This year, planning camp through a pandemic and being able to successfully bring our community back together was an amazing feat. So that first day was really a magical experience.
During COVID and during when things were shut down, we became so distant from each other and we lost that sense of connection and we lost that sense of belonging. I think the benefits of having everyone together far outweigh some of the things that are hard.
We knew that we were going to be here, but we had to be responsible. We had to limit our group sizes. In a typical summer, Camp JCC has about 500 campers. This year, in order to be safe, we shrunk camp to about 260 kids. We have our little tent city out back. We needed to make sure that they were set up in a way that there were boundaries and opportunities to have those interactions from a distance. Even though we were shrinking the size of camp, we wanted to make sure that we maintained our inclusion program and the opportunity for all campers to come to Camp JCC.
It really is profound when you can give every child the experience of being in camp and being part of a camp community and feeling connected, feeling that you belong.
Sasha is a camper who we got to meet in summer 2020 during our virtual camp.
We noticed she wasn't quite typical when she was about 9 months old. She doesn't care. She perseveres, she laughs, she engages other people.
Her personality is so exuberant and so charming, and she's just fun to be around.
At camp, I have a great time.
Now seeing her here at Camp JCC for her first summer in person has been even more exciting. She's much bigger than a 2-inch window on a screen and a whole lot more personality.
Our son has been welcome here since he was 5 years old.
Camp JCC is the happiest place on earth for seeing him. And so I'm just so happy he just go camp every morning. He just want to put in his backpack. He's ready to go.
He's grown so much, and it's so great year after year to see him come back and to see all the new skills that he's learned and then be able to use them here at camp.
It's okay to be different. It's okay that everyone presents and goes through camp in a different way. And we're gonna adapt, and I think we're the constant.
And what we are showing people in camp is that people with disabilities are able to do all the same things that people without disabilities can do.
Jordan! This is the 5th summer that our son Jordan has been attending Camp JCC. 6 years ago, he acquired a random virus, had a cardiac arrest, and sustained a hypoxic brain injury. Basically, he is 100% dependent.
He's not able to communicate verbally, but he communicates by laughing, by smiling, by making these really joyful noises.
Everything got
he was before is still there, but he now expresses it in a completely different way. And we want to find spaces where he can keep on expressing that joy of life in this new way.
I think it's one of his favorite times of the year, especially after the pandemic, to get out of the house and meet new people. And just knowing that he's excited, just being here, no pressure, just a fun time.
This is life-changing stuff, and it's life-altering stuff for these kids and for their families, because their families get to have a sense of normalcy that doesn't exist without this.
She talks about her friends here.
The only way that we can run both our inclusive younger camp and the Cocoa Bean program is through the support that we get through fundraising. We don't charge families any extra for the extra support that they're given.
We can have the best of intentions, but without the funds to be able to do it, it's not going to go anywhere. We have to pay for the counselors. We have to pay for the adaptive equipment.
I worry every year about whether we're going to be able to raise what we need to have the exact same program or better.
And Dinner of Champions and many other efforts during the year make it possible for us to continue to provide this transformative inclusion program at the Bender JCC.
To all you donors, thank you from the bottom of our heart. You, through your donation, are making the world a better place.
I thought I should watch Rocky before I came in, just to toughen me up, you know, just to toughen me up, right?
Always wants to get in front of me. Wow. Camp JCC absolutely is a place where everyone belongs, where everyone can make those lasting childhood memories. And it's through your support that these experiences become life-changing for these kids. Good evening. I'm Rob, and this is Roz Black, and we are co-chairs for this year's Dinner of Champions. I looked up, I didn't read. We'd like to thank all who shared their stories tonight and for being part of the JCC community. And we as members, and we've been members and we are parents of campers who were also counselors at Camp JCC. Personally, I had the honor to serve as a board member and a Hall of Fame inductee in 2017 and I received the Maccabi Legacy Award. Thank you. It's an honor. We're pleased that Sasha's parents, Ashley Bone and Desha Galati, are here tonight. Thanks to you, Camp JCC is one of the few camps in the country where a family who has a child with special needs pays the same tuition as everyone else. This is what it means to be truly inclusive, a truly inclusive camp, and something as a community we should all take pride in. Thank you to everyone who has supported this event and those who continue to support the incredible work that's being done at Camp JCC.
I don't know about you, but I'm crying. I have been to this event so many times over the past 29 years, and I continually am emotional every single year. The inclusion program at Camp JCC does not happen without your support. Funds raised tonight will help us serve more than 100 children through our inclusion program. I know so many of you have already given generously, and we thank you for your support. Based on what you just saw, I hope you're compelled to reach a little deeper and make an additional gift. If you're here as the guest of someone and have yet to make a gift, now is the opportunity. Please do so. Giving is easy. You can donate by texting Bender JCC to 243725. It's up on the screens, but it's 243725. And for those of you here in the Krieger Theater, there are pledge cards in your tribute books. A staff member will be more than happy to take them from you a little bit later. We also want to thank Jody Schulemson and Rachel Osman. They are the JCC's development dream team. Their wisdom and their guidance in planning tonight is just unbelievable. I cannot tell you how difficult it was to plan really 2 events, one in person and one virtual. They did it with grace and dignity and a lot of humor. They have worked tirelessly to ensure the success of this event, and I want to hear a little bit louder applause for them. We really appreciate your being here, and we thank you for your support, which will make a difference in the lives of so many campers. And we'll thank you again and again if you continue to text to give and fill out those pledge cards, because we need to raise the money tonight to make sure this program continues this summer and in years to come. With that, we would like to bring John Donovan back to the podium. Thank you all so very much for being here.
Roz, that was very persuasive. Thank you, Roz and Rob. And I love the video. I love the story that it told. And like Roz, I'm hoping that all of you will be making a donation tonight to ensure that this keeps going and that campers in next summer have a really meaningful opportunity to have a great summer. Again, I'm going to do the commercial. The text to give information will remain on your screen throughout the evening. The text again is Bender JCC at 243725. Who can recite that back to me by heart at this point? I hope by the end of the evening it's burned into your memory. So I would like to acknowledge Lisa Levin, who is chair of the selection committee and a member of the Sports Hall of Fame, along with the entire selection committee. I want to thank you for your hard work. Choosing awardees is actually really, really difficult and stressful work, and I know about that. And I would also like to ask Heather Strauss, the Inclusion Director at Camp JCC, to join me on stage now to present the awards as we move into that part of the program. Hi, Heather. So it is my pleasure to welcome our past inductees and members of the Hall of Fame who are here and watching tonight. So, blasts from the past, some long ago and some more recent. Jason Belinkie, Robert Black, Roger Kosak, Glenn Fine, Stephen Gettleson, Lisa Levin, Michael Leaner, Helena Yasharoff Peabody, Curtis Polk, Andy Poland, George Solomon, Lou Strudler, Ronnie Watts, Joe Yasharoff, and Mark Jugentab. Congratulations to all of them for their achievements in the past. And now, part of the program that we've been waiting for, and the pace is going to pick up. I am pleased to begin the presentation of this year's Greater Washington Jewish Sports Hall of Fame inductees. I want to let you know there's more information about everybody in your tribute book. So they'll have some time on the stage, but please look into that book to learn more about each of these inductees. And I want to begin with the honor of introducing our first inductee, Peter Fain. Peter, I'm going to say some nice things about you first.
Please do. Thank you.
Peter began his college career at the University of Maryland as a sprinter, but transitioned to the decathlon during his sophomore year. Over the next 3 years, he achieved all Atlantic Coast Conference ACC honors. He placed in the ACC championships. He was a varsity letter winner and set a school record as one of the all-time top 10 decathletes. And his running career did not end in college. As a law student, Peter worked hard at studying the law, but he also continued to train in the decathlon. In 1989, he was a member of the U.S. Maccabea team, and he was the sole decathlete at the Games. He placed 5th in the 100 meters, earned a silver medal as a member of the 4x400 meter relay team. In 1990, he won the pentathlon at the Princeton Relays and the George Mason Invitational, and he placed 8th at the USA National Track and Field Championships. Have you done anything else? Nothing? Okay, been resting since then. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Fain.
John, thank you. Good evening, Bender JCC. Thank you. Just so you know, I told the powers that be that I would be going to talk very fast, so that way I'm not played off by any music like at the Grammys or at the Oscars, so I'll make sure to go as quickly as I can. But first, I want to let you know this. Wow. Simply wow. I am very honored to be here tonight, humbled and honored to be inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame. But we're also here tonight, as you've seen earlier, to help raise funds for a truly phenomenal and, quite frankly, a magical place. And I know this because I was here at the Bender JCC summer camp this summer, and I had the opportunity to visit the camp and see it in action. And to tell you what makes it so special, it's the staff. It is the people who are there. They are special, warm, inclusive, and you saw them on the screen, but they are what truly makes that place an incredible, magical place for the people who are there. And I'm so very proud to be here tonight to help raise funds for such a phenomenal endeavor. And I want to also know that my fellow inductees and I want to take the opportunity and I want to congratulate them as well for being inducted into the Greater Washington Sports Hall of Fame. So Aviva and Eve and Caroline and Aaron, mazel tov to you and your families as well for being inducted. And also a big shout out to the high school athletes from the Perlo Award as well. And I know we'll be hearing from Lori very later, and a very, very big congratulations to Lori on being awarded the Poland Humanitarian Award. But tonight isn't just about me, at least as I'm here right now. I want to recognize the fact that this accomplishment is shared. I want to give a very big thank you to all of my friends and family who are here in person, as well as who are here virtually to help me celebrate tonight. So thank you all. It really means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. But of course, there are some very special people, and I want to give a personal thank you to them. To my parents, Barry and Barbara, who are here, your unconditional love, constant support inspired me to pursue my dream, and the Jewish decathlete genes that you happened to give me, not sure how that happened, but I did get them. My 3 children who are here, Sierra, Brandon, and Ethan, you are my gold medals. Just know that. And although technically you weren't around when all this was going on, I know you would have been in the stands. You would have been holding signs saying, my dad is the greatest Jewish decathlete ever, ... at the University of Maryland. So I do appreciate that. And speaking of the University of Maryland, my college coach and very dear friend to this day, Tim Moore, I want to thank you. You believed in me, and you taught me that the most important lessons, both in sports and in life, were that success is where opportunity meets preparation. Also, my fraternity brothers. Go ahead, you can cheer yourselves. Go ahead. I stand here today in the shadows of other members of Tau Epsilon Phi who are in this Hall of Fame. I'm so very proud to be considered in the same Hall of Fame with Hatzi and Benny Alperstein, Stanley Bob, the Perlo brothers. Becoming a brother in Tau Epsilon Phi was truly the second greatest decision of my life. Which leads me to the single most important and greatest decision in my life. We met over 35 years ago on the campus of, as I call, Harvard of the Mid-Atlantic, or affectionately called the University of Maryland. You were with me from the beginning, watching me pole vault at Byrd Stadium, and you supported us when I resigned as a prosecutor in order to train full-time for the Olympics. You are my best friend. You are my soulmate. You are my rock. And this year, we're celebrating our 30th year of our very magical marriage. As my dear friend Jay-Z says, I got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. Thank you, Lisa Fain. I love you. Last but not least, as said earlier, big thank you to Jody and Rachel. I mean, is this phenomenal? Is this phenomenal? So thank you all. Have a wonderful time celebrating. Yasher Koach, sei gesund.
Thank you, Peter. Congratulations. So we have an exquisitely choreographed presentation process that Peter violated and destroyed by walking up here before he was supposed to. So for the rest of the inductees, I'm going to do an introduction at the end of which I'll say your name, and that's the point at which we would love you to come up on the stage. But it was fine. It worked out. That's okay. But I want to cite the name of our next inductee for a round of applause, Aviva Kempner. Aviva Kempner is a very, very well-known Washington, D.C.-based filmmaker who has made award-winning documentaries about underknown Jewish heroes for 42 years. Currently, she is co-directing Imagining the Indians, which is a documentary on the movement to remove Native American names and logos and mascots from the world of sports. Her past film credits include The Spy Behind Home Plate, about baseball player and OSS spy Mo Berg, Rosenwald, a film about the partnership of Julius Rosenwald and Booker T. Washington, You-Who, Mrs. Goldberg, about Gertrude Berg, who created the first television sitcom, and the Peabody awarded The Life and Times of Hank Greenberg, about the Hall of Fame slugger with the Detroit Tigers who faced anti-Semitism in the 1930s. She also produced the award-winning Partisans of Vilna, about Jews fighting the Nazis. Once again, I say, can't you do anything else? That's all you've done. What an amazing, amazing resume and record. Aviva launched the SEW Sports Equality for Women's website, which strives to amplify the stories and voices of women in sports. To get our choreography working properly, now is the time, Aviva. Please join me in congratulating Aviva Kempner. And the next stage is the photo, and then to the
Thank you so much. It's been fascinating to learn about the camp, and I offer next summer to come and talk to the kids about my heroes. We should all know about them. And I'm here tonight because of these cellular heroes and their sacrifices. Our Litvak-born father, Chaim Kempner, taught my brother and I about baseball, and we heard so many times about how Hank Greenberg had not gone to the stadium, but instead to shul in 34, that we thought Hank was part of Kol Nidre services. But more importantly, he lost 4.5 years of playing by enlisting during World War II. There should be an asterisk by he and Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio's names. And for me, Mo Berg left also a successful coaching career to be an OSS spy in war-torn Europe. His command of languages, speaking 7 languages, but maybe not hitting in any of them. He displayed great bravery at a time that the minute he would be caught, he would be dead. More importantly, both men proved not all Jewish males are Nebushes. And I started Sports Equality for Women website because I'm so inspired by the courageous female athletes who are fighting every day for pay equality and exposing sexual abuse. We're very proud also of my new sports documentary that I've co-directed, The Fight Against Native American Mascotting, which shows how indigenous people dislike being stereotyped by racist names, chants, and chops. Believe me, chops are not kosher. Atlanta, hear that. I'm dedicating my award tonight to many people. First and most of all, to our father, Chaim Kempner, who taught us to love baseball. And when he made Aliyah to Israel, he said he was only going to miss two things, baseball and his kids. And it was in that order he said it. To my brother, Jonathan, who's sort of gone more to football than baseball, who many Saturdays attended 3 daughters' soccer games and supported them and said he might be late tonight. Do not tell him what happened at the University of Michigan today, as we're both big fans of that. I dedicate my award to Fred Sternberg, who came out of this area, who's America's best sports publicist, who's done so well with my films. To sports editor George Solomon, whose son is being honored tonight, who was forward-thinking, hiring many sports writers, female sports writers, way before it was in fashion. To Bill Levine, who came to me with the idea of Mo Berg and was the executive producer, and to many of the people who have supported my documentaries. Without them, I never could be up here tonight. Now, among us today, we have a righteous Gentile, Bruce Adams, who single-handedly helped the Israeli Olympic baseball team establish the Shirley Povich Field, and recently the Shirley Povich statue. I think you should consider him for next year. I also dedicate this to the Lerner family for bringing baseball back to DC and for that great victory 2 years ago. I live in DC and I'm a big statehood activist, so I dedicate this award to statehood because I want to get back to the old senator's name. If we go back and have senators, then we can have that name. And today is my mother's 14th yahrzeit, Hanka Cheshla Kavinsky, Helen Kavinsky. And she taught us that, you can survive the Holocaust, pick up the pieces, and for her it was creating beauty in the world. She said every one of her paintings was an affirmation of life. And knowing what my mother could come back and do inspired me to, after I flunked the bar, to say, oh, I'll just go make movies. So thank you so much for this award. A Shenam Dank Toda Rabah, and also to my other awardees.
Aviva, it said on the script, please turn the page for the next speaker. Now I'm lost. Yeah, that's okay. Our next inductee, the name, Eve Rosenbaum. So, Eve is she's the director of baseball development for the Baltimore Orioles. Responsible for, Baltimore fans want to have that moment? Responsible for developing and implementing evaluation methods and digital tools used across all parts of baseball operations. She also serves as a conduit between the organization's scouting, player development, and research and development departments, plays a key role in player acquisition decisions, and evaluates players in the international, amateur, and professional markets. What a cool job. Prior to joining the Orioles, Eve was manager of international scouting for the Houston Astros, where she worked for 5 years. A native of Bethesda, Eve attended Harvard University and was a catcher on the Harvard varsity softball team. Please welcome me in congratulating and welcoming to the stage, Eve Rosenbaum.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much. This is an incredible honor to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. I'm lowering the mic because my dad told me I'm too short, so people need to be able to see me. So yeah, thank you so much. This is really an incredible honor, and this is really a big game of Jewish geography, because Peter, it turns out, is my best friend's dad, fraternity brother from the University of Maryland. And then Aviva, of course, I know, and is very good friends with my dad because of her interest in baseball. And of course, baseball is in my family's blood. So it's really great to be here and to be inducted with this other great group of inductees. So now I'll turn to my written speech, because I know that's part of the stage directions. trying to follow directions. So I'll say many times growing up, I went with my friends, the Eisenbergs, who are here in attendance, to the Bender JCC gym. And it's incredible to know that I now have a plaque outside of that gym. Now, there are several, thank you. So like everyone else, there are several organizations and people that I want to thank. I want to say thank you to my bosses and my colleagues at all the places I've worked. So that's the Red Sox, Major League Baseball, the NFL, the Astros, and now, of course, my hometown, Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, it's good to have Baltimore fans in attendance. And of course, thank you to the Orioles who made a donation and have donated some tickets and some other items for the raffle as well. Now, even with all of that, the biggest thank you goes to my family, who have supported me ever since I learned how to throw a baseball before I learned how to walk. And that is a true story according to my parents, Marty and Greg, who are in the audience here. And yeah. And also thank you to my family watching at home on Zoom, my brothers, my older brother Eli, and then my twin brother Elliot. Elliot, who's most well known for accepting that I was always better at sports than he was. This is true. We played on the same soccer team growing up, and we played on the same baseball team growing up. I was a catcher, and he was the second baseman, and so I got to practice my throws down to second at home. But then I wrote my college acceptance essay. This is also true. I wrote my college acceptance essay about how his soccer coach recruited me to be on the team, and then I was better than he was. So thank you, Elliot. I'm sorry I'm embarrassing you. And then, of course, my niece and nephew, Billy and Ben, who are watching at home from Boston. Ben is only 9, but he is already the smartest and the most athletic Rosenbaum. So everyone needs to keep out an eye for him in the draft in about 9 years. So while I personally did not attend Camp JCC, I did attend other summer camps. I went to Johns Hopkins summer camp program called CTY, growing up around here. And I loved camp so much that I would cry at the end when I had to leave all of my friends. And my brother Elliot, who I was just talking about, he and I are planning a holiday trip next month with a friend whom we met at camp in 7th grade. So even though I didn't go to Camp JCC, I know the power of camp, and I'm honored that my career in sports can benefit an endeavor as important as Camp JCC. As we've seen here tonight, everyone deserves a chance to enjoy camp as much as I did growing up. Now, I can say that, but it's the JCC and all of the donors and the fundraisers here that actually make that a reality. So thank you to Camp JCC for their inclusion programs, and thank you for this recognition.
Our next honoree, Aaron Solomon. So Aaron's family over here is, yeah, okay. That's pretty obvious, but very warm and touching. Aaron is the coordinating producer of ESPN's Around the Horn. He's been with the program since its first show 19 years ago. Aaron is pivotal in that role to both the daily functions and the creative conceptualization of the show. Prior to working on Around the Horn, Aaron was based at the home offices of ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, working both in the studio and doing remote production of SportsCenter, NFL on ESPN, the Stanley Cup Finals, and the X Games. Tonight, Aaron is joining in the record book his dad, a Hall of Fame member, also former Washington Post sports editor, and I think part of the cheering section over here. So it's a family affair. Congratulations to the dad of Aaron Solomon as Aaron comes up to the stage.
Thank you, everybody. Peter, if I knew I could phone my frat brothers, I would have, and they would have been here tonight. Unfortunately, they're not. But my small entourage here, thank you so much for being here, especially Jake and Mark Solomon, traveling in from Philadelphia today, so thank you so much. I'll go right to my prepared speech here. Greetings to all. I want to start by extending my congratulations to my fellow recipients of awards here tonight. A truly impressive group of people to be sharing this night with. I'm honestly humbled and honored to be inducted into the Greater Washington Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. When notified, I really did have to check my resume to make sure I was worthy of such an honor. I really didn't feel that I was, but I did check with one of our panelists, Bob Ryan, and he said, don't ask don't ask if your resume is qualified. Ask what took them so long. So I was thinking of Bob. I did feel my 1986 and 1987 JCC varsity basketball MVPs might have put me over the top. I was a force to be reckoned with back then, even at 5'8". Maybe that was it. In all seriousness, I'm following in the footsteps of my father, 1997 Hall of Fame inductee, George Solomon. And thank you. So the idea of a father-son member of any Hall of Fame is quite daunting. Standing here tonight, I can say I am oozing with pride. Being a part of something great as my father was at the Washington Post and the University of Maryland, I wanted that in my own professional life, and I found that with Around the Horn, a program, as has been said, I've been a part of for 19 years. Words just can't express how happy I am to be that father-son combo here at the Washington Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. We did it, Dad. Lastly, I'd like to thank Bender JCC for showing me their amazing camp earlier this summer. I was truly inspired by what the camp has become, the wonderful kids that are able to enjoy it, and the staff that are so committed to making each day something great for them. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your festivities. Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. To name our next inductee, round of applause, please, for Caroline Solomon. Caroline is a competitive swimmer. She has participated in the Deaf Olympics in 1989 and 1993, where she won several medals. In 1995, she competed in the World Swimming Championships in Belgium, where she won 6 golds and broke a 100-meter butterfly deaf world record. She still holds the U.S. deaf swimming records in 3 events in long course meters, the 100 butterfly, 200 IM, and 400 IM. She was a 4-year varsity swimmer for Harvard University. Seeing a theme here. Throughout her swimming career at Harvard, she won several awards, including first team All-Ivy for 100 and 200-meter butterfly, and remains one of the top best performers in Harvard swimming history in the 100 and 200 butterfly and 200 IM. Carrie is currently a professor of biology and director of the School of Science, Technology, Accessibility, Mathematics, and Public Health at Gallaudet University. Congratulations, Carrie. Please come up to the stage.
Camp JCC is about including people with different disabilities. Forget about this podium. I don't want anybody to block my sign. I want you to be able to see my signing. So I want to thank my parents who are here. They have allowed me, and they're proud of me being different. And I'm proud of being different. And I am honored to be here today to be inducted into the JCC Hall of Fame for swimming. One thing I wanted to say was that my swimming started at a local neighborhood pool. And that was during the summer, and many of you probably know about Summer League swimming, but it was them who really included me and gave me that sense of community and value. And they accepted me as a deaf person on the team, and it really guided me to a successful swimming career that lasted from the time I was 7 until I couldn't even finish a lap in the pool at that time. I remember my first swim meet, I was like, I stopped right in the middle, and I started crying. And I went many years later, and I finally could finish a lap. So let me get back to that. So really, the sense of community is so important. It's really important for a deaf person to really, it gives the ability to express ourselves and to do well in life and every aspect. And that's what Camp JCC is about. They give children that space to be themselves. It's really essential that those children, and Camp JCC, there are so many success stories like mine because Camp JCC gives that opportunity to children. So, I'm showing my age. I wish I went to Camp JCC. But really, truly important for a child who is afraid of the pool and swimming on the first day of camp to the excitement of swimming and splashing in the pool with friends by the end. And that shows that those children are growing and they're becoming accepted. And they know who they are. And Camp JCC gives those children the space to grow and flourish. And I'm so thankful that JCC provides that. And there are not that many places for children like that. So I'm so thankful to Camp JCC for that opportunity for many children such as myself. Thank you.
Here's the name, Josh Williamowski. Josh was a 3-year letter winner on the University of Delaware golf team. He was a college All-American with numerous top 10 college event finishes. He competed professionally for 2 years. He was a USGA mid-amateur participant and a Southern amateur participant. Josh participates now with First Tee, an international youth development organization that introduces the game of golf and its inherent values to young people. The University of Delaware Alumni Association is also something he's involved with, and the University of Maryland Real Estate Development Program. Please welcome to the stage, Josh Williamowski.
Thank you. After seeing all these other inductees, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be up here with them. Very impressive accomplishments and resumes by everyone. I want to thank the Dinner Champions chairs, the honorary committee, the event committee, and the Bender Jewish Community Center of Greater Washington. I want to thank my family for all their love and support throughout my career. I want to congratulate all the 2021 inductees. Really honored to be inducted with them. The Hyman and the Philip Perlow High School Athlete Award recipients and the Abe Poland Humanitarian Award recipient. The Dinner Champions is a wonderful event being hosted in support of the Amazing Inclusion Program here at Camp JCC. Prior to being notified I was inducted of this award, I was not aware that Camp JCC had an inclusion program for special needs campers. Over the summer, I was able to tour Camp JCC, and I saw children and teens with special needs experiencing the camp in such a supportive environment. This dinner and program have a lasting positive impact on the community, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. I am now indebted to the Dinner Champions and Camp JCC. I feel honored to receive this award. Thank you.
So moving to another phase, it is my pleasure and honor to find the right page first. It's my relief to find the right page, because I'm going to be introducing Aviva Perlow, who is the daughter of Phil Perlow, coming to us from Philadelphia, and Daniel Perlow Bloom, grandson of Hyman Perlow, coming to us from Washington, D.C., to present the Hyman M. and Philip D. Perlow High School Athlete Awards.
Good evening. I am Aviva Perlow, daughter of Phil Perlow and niece of Hyman Perlow, and I'm very happy to be here.
I am Daniel Perlow Bloom, the grandson of Hyman Perlow, nephew of Phil Perlow, and I am very happy to be here.
For 25 years, we have attended this amazing event to honor Hyman and Phil Perlow as athletes, as devoted, loving brothers, and as people who give back to people with less resources, and to honor excellent high school athletes.
Let's not forget that. The Perlow Award was created in 1994 by Hyman Perlow to honor his brother's memory and called the Phil Perlow Sports Award. When Hyman passed in 2006, the award was renamed for both brothers.
My father, Phil Perlow, played professional football for the Houston Oilers in 1960 and quarterback at University of Maryland, and later coached neighborhood football, basketball, girls soccer, my team, and baseball.
My grandfather, Hyman Perlow, was one of the best high school basketball players DC had ever seen, and he gave up over 20 scholarships for Division I basketball to go fight the Nazis instead because, as he said, hatred is no way to live. After the war, he worked for Abe Poland for 20 years as Director of Community Relations at the Capitol Center. He gave out free sports tickets to impoverished youth, to patients in psychiatric hospitals, to youth in segregated rec centers, and more. He was also Director of Athletics at the Washington, D.C. Jewish Community Center. Tonight benefits children with special needs. Whether the special needs are called physical, mental, co-occurring, it's on us to ask for help, defy shame, and build strong, inclusive communities.
This year, around the world, Olympic athletes have led the way to unprecedented advocacy for health, mental health, physical health, and in your sports. Thank you to Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, Michael Phelps, as we all learn to try to slow down, speak up, and go gently. According to Hyman and Phil Perlow, good athletes apply themselves, give back to the less fortunate, and pause as needed.
With profound gratitude to Hyman and Phil Perlow, and with many thanks to the Bender JCC for the summer camp for children with special needs, we are beyond pleased to present the Perlow High School Athlete Awards.
Lev Ben Avram. Lev is a nationally ranked saber fencer from Bethesda, Maryland, who has been fencing for more than 9 years. He is one of the top fencers in the U.S. in his age group and has been nationally ranked since 2015. For 2 seasons, he was the #1 ranked fencer in his age group in the region between Maryland and Florida. Lev was named to the U.S. Fencing All-American First Team in Sabre for 2019 and 2020, and also the U.S. Fencing 2020-2021 All-Academic First Team. He has qualified and competed in the U.S. Fencing National Championships every year since 2015 and the U.S. Fencing Junior Olympics since 2017. He plans to fence on the NCAA fencing team in college.
Congratulations, Lev.
Casey
Here's our next recipient. And now our next.
Casey Godfrey. Casey Godfrey is a senior honors student at Sherwood High School. This is her 4th year playing on the varsity soccer team, where she is a team captain. During her freshman season, she was named Offensive Player of the Year. As a member of the Maryland State Olympic Development Team for 4 seasons, Casey got to play 7 games in England, recorded an international goal, and helped the team to a 7-0 record. Besides playing in England, her favorite soccer moments were her 2 JCC Maccabi Games trips to California and Georgia. Casey plans to continue playing soccer in college next year. Casey also still helps out at her former elementary school and participated in Hero Dogs and Girls on the Run. She's also part of her high school's Warriors Against Homelessness Club.
So Casey can't be with us here tonight, but she's watching online, and I would love her to hear and see your congratulations to her. And next up is
Noah Schulhoff. Noah is a senior at Walter Johnson High School. Noah's athletic passion is bouldering, a form of rock climbing. Noah started bouldering when he was 9 and began competing at age 14. He competes regionally in Maryland, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, and recently qualified for the 2021 National Championships in Reno, Nevada. Noah is a member of 4 honor societies, 3 academic scholar programs, and active in the Jewish community, and has volunteered extensively for Special Olympics, helping to run their championships in bocce, bowling, and basketball. Noah is also a long-standing teen ambassador for the National Institute of Health, NIH Children's Inn. He hopes to continue climbing at the college level.
Congratulations, Noah. The name of our next recipient is?
Andrew Silver. Andrew Silver is a senior at Winston Churchill High School. He has played varsity basketball and lacrosse for 4 years and varsity golf for 3 years, and has consistently been an honor roll student throughout high school. Andrew has played AAU club basketball for 8 years and played on Team Greater Washington basketball for 2 years with the Mid-Atlantic Junior Maccabi Games, traveling to Philadelphia and Baltimore. Andrew has been extremely involved in community service and has earned over 300 service hours. After starting a snow shoveling business in middle school, in 2020, he and his friends started detailing cars and power washing decks, donating a portion of earnings to No Kid Hungry. Andrew is currently assistant editor-in-chief of his school's yearbook and hopes to play basketball in college.
Congratulations, Andrew. And next up, we have
Shoshana Zook. Shoshana attends Colonel Zadok Magruder High School in Durwood, Maryland, and has been playing golf since she was 6. She has been a member of the varsity golf team at Magruder all 4 years and has been captain since her sophomore year. In 2019, Shoshana was on the Montgomery County Public Schools All-Division team and tied for 6th place at the Maryland Public High School Golf State Championship. This year, she qualified for the U.S. Girls Junior Championship. Shoshana is member of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington student-to-student program, where she speaks to other youth about Judaism and Israel to help facilitate a deeper understanding and reduce prejudice. She has participated in the Israel Engagement Fellowship, where she develops skills to advocate for Israel.
Congratulations, Shoshana. And I want to point out there's a slight addition since these remarks were first recorded. During Shoshana's 2021 season, she won the high school girls district tournament. She got second place at the co-ed districts. She also led the Magruder golf team into the Maryland State Public School Golf Championship for the first time in many years. I just want to pause to say personally, I'm so impressed by this lineup of awardees, recipients, and it's just an optimism cocktail, the kind of thing that we totally need, and this has been fantastic. We're going to move on now to the final award of the evening, but before you do that, I want to once again ask you to consider donating by texting Bender JCC to 243725. That's Bender JCC to 243725. So the Irene and Abe Poland Humanitarian Award honors people who have made a difference to society with a dedication to philanthropy and to service, making our community and our world a truly better place. To present this year's Poland Award, please welcome Bender JCC Hall of Fame member Jason Belinkie.
Lori and my paths first crossed 15 years ago through a family connection. My nieces had gone to school with her son Henry, and my aunt had told me that I needed to meet this person with an incredible story and new organization called Hope for Henry. Anyone who meets Lori instantly feels her warmth, empathy, and vulnerability, and her unwavering passion and dedication for helping children in need. While Lori's extensive list of accomplishments, best-selling author, radio host, guest lecturer, panelist, and advocate, would impress anyone who crosses her path, it is her strength in the face of the unimaginable tragedy of losing a child that continually inspires me to live life to the fullest and do more for others. Despite the incredibly challenging journey that Lori, her husband Alan, and Henry went through over more than 7 years, they did everything they possibly could to give Henry the same joys in the life that every other little boy experiences. While Henry lost his battle to overcome Fanconi anemia, his legacy and impact on our community can be felt every day through the organization founded by Lori and Alan in his honor, Hope for Henry, which to date has improved the lives of nearly 70,000 hospitalized children. They have redefined the hospital experience for kids and families and brought hope, joy, and entertainment to an environment that so badly needs it. The Bender JCC could not have selected a more worthy person to receive the Irene and Abe Poland Humanitarian Award, which honors those whose commitment to service impacts our local community and also makes the world a better place. Lori Strungen truly embodies the spirit of this award. Lori understands the immeasurable depths of uncertainty, despair, and fear that so many of the children and families served by Hope for Henry are feeling, and she strives to do anything in her power to make their lives better every single day, despite carrying the weight of her own heartbreaking loss. She is, without a doubt, the strongest person I know. Thanks for giving me the honor of introducing you, Lori. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Jason, from home. It was the night before we left our home in Washington, D.C., bound for Minneapolis, where our son Henry would undergo a life-saving bone marrow transplant. He and his brother Jack were having a great time, running around our yard catching fireflies, one after another. Each catch was a victory for my sons, though not for the bugs, many of whom gave their lives in the clumsy, innocent hands of my 3- and 4-year-old boys. As I watched them, my mind drifted to thoughts of my own childhood, of the curiosity and wonder about the world that defines a child's dreams. When I shook myself from my reverie, I noticed that Henry had disappeared inside the house. I found him upstairs in his room. "Mom, come in quick," I heard an insistent whisper. "Close the door." The room was dark, and then I saw them. Dozens of pinpricks of warm yellow light flashing and floating above Henry's head. He had carried the fireflies upstairs one by one. "It looks like the sky," he whispered, reaching over to take my hand. He was the picture of joy lying on his back, watching the fireflies light up his room. The next day, my husband Alan and the boys were waiting for me in the car. The trunk was packed and the car was running. I stepped onto our front porch and I began to pull the door closed. But instead, I went back inside, upstairs, and I stood in front of the door to Henry's bedroom. Henry. I traced the letters on the door, the ones that had been there since he moved into this room, this house, our lives. I opened the door and I walked in. I looked around. In the closet, all of his costumes: Batman, Buzz Lightyear, Peter Pan, and astronaut. Under the bed, a couple of stray Batman toys, all typical kid stuff. I could find nothing that justified our trip to Minneapolis. On the outside, Henry looked completely healthy. Despite his diagnosis of Fanconi anemia, a rare Jewish genetic disease, and his failing blood counts, I could see nothing that convinced me that we were doing the right thing. I tried to prepare myself for the moment when the four of us walked through the wooden doors of the University of Minnesota's Pediatric Bone Marrow Transplant Clinic at 8 a.m. on a summer morning in the year 2000. I saw rows of chairs filled with little kids wearing baseball caps to cover their bald heads. I saw their faces swollen from steroids and absent of smiles. I fought the urge to grab Henry and Jack and run back to our car. We didn't belong here in the land of the sick. Henry's colorless, sanitized, isolated hospital room was a shocking contrast from where we had been just 2 weeks earlier. Preschool, funland, a championship soccer game, and a huge going-away superhero extravaganza. Instead of the sounds of kids laughing or screaming with delight, the only noise was the constant swishing and beeping of Henry's IV pump or the squeaking of the nurse's shoes. Instead of colorful classroom walls featuring kids' artwork or Henry's bedroom filled with soccer trophies and Pokemon posters, the hospital room walls were white and bare. Replacing the scent of fresh-cut grass, popcorn, or homemade cookies was the antiseptic smell of clean. We had traded everything for nothing at all. We knew that there was no way Henry would be able to do all the impossibly hard things he needed to do to make it to kindergarten if he became Henry the patient. So we quickly transformed room 5A in Unit 4 into a magical place where Henry the kid could heal and thrive. As luck would have it, there was a magic closet in Henry's hospital room. I knew Henry would do almost anything for a brand new Batman toy. So we filled the magic closet with Batman action figures of all shapes and sizes. When Henry threw up or had to take a fistful of pills or endure a fifth attempt to insert an IV into his bruised vein, the magic closet delivered. There was a magic closet in every hospital room Henry stayed in, from the University of Minnesota Children's to Johns Hopkins, Hackensack University Medical Center, and MedStar Georgetown. It was our way of acknowledging the hardship and providing incentives to keep Henry going. It also kept him taking his medicine and doing all the other things he had to do to get better. Because way before Henry was a patient, he was a kid a kid who loved catching fireflies, dressing in costumes, playing soccer, collecting marbles, blowing bubbles, chasing Snow White around Disney World, flying kites, playing skee-ball, having play dates, making snowmen, having lemonade stands, slow dancing, wearing a tuxedo, sleeping in tents, going to spring training, meeting Cal Ripken, driving Papa-sized tractor, riding in Nana's Mustang convertible, climbing trees, wearing flip-flops, getting a hole-in-one in mini golf, making s'mores, hitting wiffle balls off our front porch, cracking open Batman piñatas on his birthday, wrestling with his brother Jack. Henry's experience of having to spend years in the hospital is not unique. 43 kids are diagnosed with cancer every single day. The average length of treatment is 1,095 days. Think about that. It's almost 3 years. Despite their outcomes, they all share one stark reality. To get better, they must endure years of treatment. They have to take medicines that taste terrible, make them weak and nauseous, and cause them to lose their hair. They have to undergo medical procedures that are agonizing and scary. They have to be away from family, friends, school, summer camp, everything that makes life worth living. Every day, the youngest patients at hospitals around the country are traumatized by the prospect of having a needle placed in their skin, having to enter a dark tunnel alone and remain still for 30 minutes, or having to put a tight-fitting mask over their face and breathe in gas in a room filled with unfamiliar people and towering medical equipment. Their reaction, quite understandably, is to resist care. They cry, they squirm, they attempt to run away. But thanks to Hope for Henry, the magic closet is back. And in its latest iteration, Super Rewards for Super Kids, it's helping thousands of kids at hospitals around the country be brave and adhere to their medical plans. The kids and the families who love them need organizations like Hope for Henry, organizations that understand that it takes more than medicine to help kids heal. It takes visits from their favorite superheroes, over-the-top birthday parties, opportunities to meet their favorite athletes or attend movie premieres, meet authors, celebrate holidays, just do normal kid things. And it takes incentives to help them navigate tough medical procedures, like MRIs, lumbar punctures, port accesses, proton therapy. Tough for adults, but imagine being a kid or their parent. Hope for Henry is there for thousands of kids every year as they endure these procedures so they have a great experience and are armed with the bravery and confidence they need to come back and do it again because their lives depend on it. In 2003, Hope for Henry served our first patient at MedStar Georgetown University Hospital. Last week, we served our 67,172nd. We're committed to bringing our critical, quite literally life-saving program to every child at every hospital in the country. Because before they were patients, they were children. I want to thank everyone here at the Bender JCC for honoring me with the Irene and Abe Poland Humanitarian Award. As a native Washingtonian, I'm very familiar with the pioneering work that Irene and Abe have done in my hometown. To receive an award in their name is the ultimate tribute. Both of our families know the agony of a death of a child, and both know that the wreckage that follows leave you but two choices: let it ruin you, or channel it towards doing something good. Powered by love for my incredible husband, Alan, and my sons, Jack and Joe, who are here today, and my determination to ease the path for others, I chose the latter. And I couldn't be more pleased that tonight's event supports families with children who deserve a wonderful and a magical childhood. And thanks to Camp JCC, they get that and more all summer long. I want to congratulate all of the other awardees and thank all of you for coming. I'm so grateful my parents are here, and my brother and his wife, and my family, and so many friends, and I'm very grateful for this incredible award. Thank you.
Lori, it is such a privilege to honor your work here tonight and to have had the privilege of knowing you and seeing firsthand your work over the years and the incredible impact that you've had on so many children and their families. I cannot think of a more fitting honoree tonight for the Abe and Irene Pullen Humanitarian Award. Good evening, I'm Josh Bender. I'm the CEO of the Bender JCC. What an amazing night this is. The Dinner of Champions is always a special evening, but perhaps never more special than this year's event. We are thrilled to have been able to gather together in person and virtually to celebrate all of our champions tonight. I'd like to congratulate tonight's honorees in allowing us to honor them for their accomplishments in service to the community. We have succeeded in raising critical funding to support inclusion at Camp JCC. I know you've heard it a few times tonight, but I'm going to ask you one more time and request humbly that if you haven't yet donated to this unbelievable cause at Camp JCC and inclusion, please send a text to Bender JCC to 243-725. Every dollar counts. Every dollar gets us closer to serving our community. Your donations are absolutely critical to our success. My deepest thanks to the Dinner of Champions co-chairs, Rob and Rob Black, and Erica Strudler and Isaac Snyder, whose energy and dedication and coffees and Zooms and coffees and Zooms and more Zooms were truly inspirational in helping us make tonight's event a success. A great big thank you to John Donvan for being with us tonight, sharing your enthusiasm. And not only thank you for being here tonight, John, but also thank you for the advocacy work that you do on behalf of individuals with disabilities. As you've heard a few times tonight, our Camp JCC and our inclusion program does not happen without our staff, our amazing staff. I want to call out a few people in particular tonight. Phil Leipson, Eva Cowan, Heather Strauss, and Eliza Glatter. And many, many more names that we don't have time to say. When you see it at camp in the summer, you know how many people. It really takes a village. This summer was really challenging. The enormous modifications that had to be made to ensure that all of our campers and staff were as safe as possible were worth every bit of effort. And again, we thank our staff from the bottom of our hearts for making that possible. I want to express appreciation to Jody Schulemson, and Rachel Osman. There are amazing, as you heard earlier, our amazing development team, and none of this would have been possible. And of course, our marketing team led by Treva Bustow as well. We are grateful for all of our staff members and their hard work and commitment to securing the funds we need to ensure that families in our inclusion program pay exactly the same as any typically developing children in our program. I want to thank you, give a big thanks to our production company, VPC, and Signature Catering for putting together this beautiful evening for us. Finally, I want to thank all of you for your generous support prior to tonight, tomorrow, next week. We have raised, need a drum roll, $325,000 out of our $390,000 goal. We are not there yet. We are not done with our work. And I urge you and ask you humbly to continue helping us, reaching more and more. Raffle tickets are still available for sale. And I hope you've seen many of the great prizes. Stay tuned for the drawing on Monday on Facebook Live at 2 p.m. While the Dinner of Champions is our signature fundraising event for inclusion at Camp JCC, we continue to raise funds throughout the year. So please spread the word with your family, your friends, colleagues about the heartwarming magic that happens at Camp JCC every summer, where inclusion is belonging. Please celebrate. The celebration continues. Join us outside in the tent for delicious desserts, coffee, and conversation. Thank you once again for being with us here tonight.